I have to shout out, applaud my guy, Sterling K. Brown, and his recent assertion that he has always insisted that his romantic interests are Black women, preferably darker skinned Black women.
The thing about Sterling K. Brown is that you are going to have a Black woman love interest and a dark skinned Black woman at that.
I try.
So is that something you do consciously?
Yeah, it is. I'm aware of the sort of Eurocentric standards of beauty that tend to predominate media. Light skin oftentimes is seen as more beautiful than dark skin, etc. And Brown wants to be someone that sort of shows all of the beauty that is Blackness, right? Brown don't discriminate, to be perfectly honest. I understand the power of representation and how often Black women feel unseen by Black men, right, in particular. And there's so many sisters that are waiting for brothers to be like, hey, man, I'm here for you, whatnot. And brothers sometimes don't tend to see them. I want them to know that SKB sees them. And hopefully in the people that he chooses to be paired with on screen and whatnot, there's an appreciation for them and that they know that they are as beautiful as I know they are.
It shows that he gets it. What does he get? He gets that we are programmed. As much as we'd like to believe that we are free thinkers and that nothing is controlling us, to a great extent, we are programmed to think certain ways. This is why so much money is spent marketing to us, to make us think that one brand is better than another brand. We are wired that way. The messages that we get from our family and friends, that we get from the minute we are reading fairy tales when we're kids, to the books that we read, to social media, to the movies that we watch, to the commercials on TV, send us messages about what is right, what is wrong, what is acceptable, what is superior. We are, again, programmed. And so he understands that if he is seen with a Black actress, that sends a message. And the more we see that, the more normal we think it is and acceptable we think it is. And that a hero in a story would think that the best choice for him is a Black woman does send messages and it resonates. And so that's why it's always surprising to me that people think that when they are in a interracial relationship, when there's a Black man and a white woman, which is what we see to a vast majority when you look at interracial relationships, they think it just is happenstance. And first of all, let me say, before y'all come at me, I believe love is love, love who you want. I have absolutely no issue for it. I think it's a miracle to find love when we find it. But to assume or to think that you made this choice all the time, okay, because it's just a simple preference, typically that's not the truth. Sometimes it is, but it's not the truth. Any more than I would prefer a Chanel bag over any other designer bag, right? It's not because I've done extensive research. It is because Chanel has done a genius job of marketing to me to think that Chanel is the classic luxury. It is what to me means supreme luxury. In my mind, I've been taught that, right? And then we have confirmation bias because the bias is already placed in our minds. The bias has already been taught to you from every movie, almost every movie commercial that you've ever seen, that the greatest achievement, the most beautiful woman is a white woman. The woman who needs to be saved, the woman who is innocent, the woman who is sweet, the woman who is gorgeous is white. That is what you've been taught, and everything from Cinderella to the movie you watched last night most likely had a heroine that was white. You very rarely see white men choosing Black women. And we all know, particularly us Black women, that white men absolutely find us attractive. They're attracted to us. They find us attractive. Let's make it clear, since day one when we were enslaved, as dirty as we are working in the fields, those white men are leaving their beds of their white wives and sleeping with us and having children with us and choosing us time and time again, because guess what? They were very attracted to us. And still, there's not a Black woman you're gonna meet of any hue that's gonna tell you that white man has not hit on them. It happens, but the difference is they've been programmed that it's unacceptable. So they do it behind closed doors, in the dark. Just, we can see it with, in their eyes. They're not gonna, certainly, it's not acceptable for them to marry us most of the time. That is, the world has wired them, programmed them not to think it's acceptable, where it's the opposite for Black men. It is so true that when a Black when a white man chooses a black woman, white women are up in arms because it is assumed that they will always be chosen and that they're always the superior ones. You look at Princess Meghan and Harry. People are still, white women lose their minds anything that happens with Meghan, and they will try to create every scenario in the book. You would think that they know her personally and they are personally offended, but they're offended because a black woman got a prince, and nothing has informed them that that was a possibility since the minute that they were born. That is not what they expect. So we have to understand the power of being programmed and wired upon our choices, okay? And that is why what Sterling K. Brown said and what he has done throughout his career are incredibly powerful. Bravo, brother. Bravo.